Good luck.
It's a Tuesday night, a battle between two teams, and tonight it's where you'll find Mike Goins.
I go to a game just about every night.
Spot, okay?
But he isn't rooting for any team, he's watching the referees.
Off White's leg, going that way.
You put on the referee shirt, you know, you got to have some thick skin. You know that.
Are we in a position where we won't have high school sports because of the lack of officials?
I think it needs to change. If it keeps going in the direction it's going now, it's hard to say in a few years there won't be enough officials to actually do the game.
Get out of the lane, get out of the lane.
Tonight, Goins picked a varsity doubleheader to sit through, girls first, between Clark and Bourbon counties. This is one of 64 games going on simultaneously in his area.
Jump ball.
Goins is in charge of assigning the officials for each and every game from middle school to varsity.
Well, I had to tell a school today they wanted to add a game tonight and said, no, we don't have any available.
I got to have two go.
And that statement is a symptom of the reason for this point-blank op-ed, saying in part, Mom and Dad, cool it.
We need to take a shot across the bow. Let's get everybody's attention. Because otherwise, this thing that we're the only people in the world that do the way we do, which is high school sport, we're going to lose because we won't have anybody to referee the games.
Kentucky High School Athletics Association Commissioner Julian Tackett co-wrote the op-ed, saying more than 75% of all high school officials say adult behavior is the reason they hung up the whistle.
I think that we as a society have accepted the fact that not only should you be negative, but you should be negative loudly.
Parents getting fired up and sometimes out of control on officials and coaches isn't new.
Yeah, we need the law at the Whitney County High School baseball.
What's going on out there, bud?
There's a firing on the coach. We need them now.
I'll get them up there.
There was this full-out disaster of a fight in the early 90s, and in 09, this dad thinks he must tell the coach his thoughts right then. Watch his son push him away.
Most of the time, what we notice, if you pay a lot of attention to it, you'll see this guy in the stands and he's chirping loudly. If his kid looks up there and catches an eye, drops his head, he's just like, oh my God, that's my dad.
Players can make mistakes, coaches can make mistakes, but an official's mistake is not accepted. You know, we're expected to be perfect and then get better.
She walked.
The pressure, they say, is being felt most on the younger officials. In many parts of the state, there are more officials over 60 years old than under 30. Why? Well, the younger ones won't take the trash talk.
When she brought it over her shoulder, she took an extra step.
What I think's missing, and this is my own personal opinion, is there was a time when that did go on and the school administrator stepped up and said, you're not going to do that.
The administrator, the principals, you know, we got to have support from them. And, you know, if we don't feel like we have their back us up, you know, that's not a real good feeling for the officials.
Well, probably because they're scared of the parents.
Well, that's true. And I had a couple of situations where the school administrators, ADs, were afraid to remove the parents because they were afraid of their safety.
If she could make a layup and there was contact, you could get an ambulance.
Yeah, no, there's no contact whatsoever.
If you haven't been a part of a school-age game lately, you might have forgotten that rush of excitement, of teamwork and integrity. Mike Goins watches it every night. It's a lesson about life for the players on the court. Ironic that the ones hurting them most are their biggest fans in the stands.